Good afternoon. My name is Barbara Fuller, and as Chair of the Board, I welcome you to this October 1st, 2024 regular meeting of the Washtenaw County Board of Road Commissioners. Our office coordinator, Aaron Smith, will describe how our meetings operate, how to access the agenda packet, and how people may participate remotely. Aaron.
Thanks, Chair Fuller. There are multiple ways to make public comment during today's board meeting, whether you're joining us in person or virtually. If you're here in person and would like to make comment, please fill out the sign-in sheet now. If you're joining us virtually, we will ask you to raise your hand at the appropriate time in the agenda. If you're joining us virtually and are experiencing technical issues with audio or video during the meeting, submit a comment in the chat feature and our communications manager will help you troubleshoot. If you would like closed captioning during this meeting, you'll have to manually change your settings, click on the captions button and select show captions. The audio and video of this meeting is being recorded, and a link to the recording will be posted to our website in the next few days. There are printed copies of today's meeting agenda on the table near the front door, and it is also posted on our website, and I'll turn it back over to Chair Fuller.
Thank you, Aaron. I now call this October 1st, 2024 regular meeting to order and ask Aaron to call the roll.
Chair Barb Fuller.
Present.
Vice Chair Rod Green.
Present.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Present.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Present.
And Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Present.
And then the following directors are in attendance: our Managing Director, Matt McDonald, our Director of Engineering and County Highway Engineer, Brent Schlack, Director of Operations, Adam Lape, and Director of Finance, Dan Ackerman.
Thank you very much. Please join us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Support. Additions, deletions, corrections, anything at all? Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the agenda is approved as presented. Next, we have two sets of minutes to accept. May I have a motion to accept the board meeting minutes of September 17th, 2024 as presented, pages 3 through 32?
So move.
Support. Additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the board meeting minutes of September 17th are accepted as presented. May I have a second motion to accept the working session minutes of September 17th, 2024, appearing on pages 33 and 34?
Make that motion. Support.
Additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the working session minutes of September 17th are accepted as presented. We have time now for reports from our county commissioner liaisons. I don't see either of them, nor did you.
No, ma'am.
All right, we will move on. Next item is public comment. This is the time set aside on the agenda to receive comments from the public. This is not intended to be a period for dialogue. Each person will be allotted 3 minutes to address the board, and Aaron will explain how people may be recognized to offer comments.
Since this is a hybrid meeting with both in-person and virtual attendees, we will take turns between those attending in person and virtually. For our virtual attendees, we have provided some instructions on the screen on how to participate and make comment. If you're attending this meeting virtually and would like to make comment, please raise your hand now. If you dialed into the meeting from your phone, you can raise your hand by dialing *9. Our communications manager will unmute virtual participants with raised hands one at a time and will announce your username or the last 4 digits of your phone number when it is your turn to speak. And please share your name and address before beginning your comments. For our in-person attendees, we will start with those who have signed up on the sign-in sheet as you walked in. If you didn't sign in, you're still welcome to make comment. Our communications manager will notify you when it is your turn.
Thank you.
At this time, we do not have any public comment.
All right. We will continue with written communications appearing on pages 35 through 38. Commissioners, anything you wish to draw our attention to? Seeing no additional questions or comments about written communications, we will move on. There was no public comment, so there is no need to respond there. New business, our consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items 1 through 6? The motions are on page 40 through 42, background, pages 43 through 66.
So moved.
Support.
Anything you have questions about there? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Joya McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
And Commissioner Burt Fuller.
Yes, the consent agenda is approved as presented, items 1 through 6. We have no action items today, so we will proceed to report of the road commissioners, starting with Commissioner McCollum.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On September 21st, I attended the Washtenaw County Road Commission Salt Barn event. A big thank you to everyone at the Road Commission for arranging the event. There was great food and great company. Shout out to Tiffany for putting the right touches to make it feel festive. On September 22nd, I attended the Commissioner Seminar at the beautiful Treetop Resort in Gaylord, Michigan. I moderated the highlight of 3 Impress Awards. They were the awareness plows. This project involved the community painting the plows with different themes, like cancer awareness for one. And the toolbox talk, improving safety culture, was another one. This project involved a more interactive approach to learning safety. The last project was the Kent County Road Commission's new central complex. These structures were indeed impressive to see in the pictures, and I'm sure even more so in person. I enjoyed moderating and I enjoyed networking with other commissioners from other road commissions. On September 25th, I attended the chat with the Road Commission. There were no attendees. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner McCollum. Commissioner Yamas.
On September 22nd through the 23rd, I attended the 2024 Commissioners Seminar. The Commissioner Seminar provided valuable insights into the current state and future of road funding in Michigan. The event featured engaging presentations, informative discussions, and an overview of the challenges facing the Road Commission today. Some of the key highlights were the Impress Award winners, and the seminar began with a presentation by Joanne, who entertained and inspired the attendees. The economic challenges in road funding was a significant focus was placed on the impact of inflation in road budgets and investment strategies. Discussions included the importance of investing wisely to enhance the Road Commission funds. The concept of compound interest was emphasized, using attendees to ensure that their finances work effectively for them. Collaboration with the townships, strategies for helping townships fund their roads were explored, emphasizing the importance of partnerships. This collaborative approach can help maximize available resources, improve local conditions. The CRA SIF Insights was very educational and I enjoyed it. Building effective teams. Mr. Donahue presented on the specific steps needed to build a winning team within road commissions. His insights were practical and actionable, offering strategies for team development. The next generation road funding. Questions surrounding future road funding models were raised, particularly in light of the changing gas consumption patterns. Michigan's gas consumption is down 600,000 gallons compared to 25 years ago, despite the increased driving. The potential for mileage-based user fees was discussed as a means to reestablish a link between road use and tax payments, regardless of vehicle type. The new speed limit regulations was very interesting. A significant update on road safety regulations was introduced with new rules for setting speed limits in Michigan under a recent passage in 2024 of PA 33. Counties must consider lower speeds than the 85th percentile, placing road commissions in a pivotal position to implement these changes. So in conclusion, overall, the 2024 Commissioner Seminar was highly educational and provided a wealth of information on the evolving landscape of road funding in Michigan, the variety of topics covered from budget management to innovative funding solution made the event worthwhile for everyone. The knowledge gained will be instrumental in addressing the current challenges and improving road infrastructure moving forward. And now,
Thank you.
thank you.
Very nice. Can you send that?
Electronically?
Digitally?
Yes, I can send it
That'd
electronically.
be great. Thank you.
Okay, uh-huh.
All right. Thank you for that report. Commissioner Green.
Yes, on September 21st, I attended the Salt Barn reception. It was very educational. I enjoyed it. That concludes my report.
All right. Commissioner Smers.
I was able to review the September 17th meetings as I was unable to attend. Other than that, that concludes my report.
All right. I will report that on September 18th, I attended the quarterly meeting of WATS, which is the Washtenaw Area Transportation Study. On September 18th, the evening of the 18th, I attended the quarterly meeting of the Southwest Washtenaw Council of Governments. And I would just like to compliment Dennis Bussey, our facilities manager, on the new landscaping and plantings at the back employee entrance. It looks very nice, and I appreciate your efforts to dress the place up. Thank you, Dennis. That concludes my report. We will move on next to staff reports and Washtenaw County Road Commission updates. The staff reports begin on page 67 and run through page 79. Mr. McNadel, our managing director.
Thank you, Chair Fuller. I would like to highlight the human resource recruiting report. I had the great pleasure of meeting our new employees, Travis Rogers, who's be starting in District 6, and John Segura, who is our assistant facilities worker. They had their new employee orientation today, so I had the opportunity to meet with them. And I wanted to also let you know, as we discussed at the working session, we do have a candidate that was accepted an offer for the communication associate position. And in addition to that, we had a candidate accept a position for a project manager. So HR is doing a great job of recruiting. I think another job offer went out for a heavy truck driver position for state trunk line. We're hoping to hear good results back. So I know there's been a lot of vacancies, but they're really doing a great job of filling District 5. Sorry, my apologies. I said, sorry. Thank you, Adam. Also, I wanted to highlight our September 21st Salt Barn event, employee tailgate. I want to say a big thank you to Tiffany Oliphant, to Aaron Smith, who helped plan and execute, along with our operations department, Adam Lape, Ken Harris, and Dennis Bussey, getting the yard ready for the event. Really did a nice job of getting all of our equipment out, along with Chris Quinter, who helped set up some audio and visual equipment for the event. A lot of hands went into this, a lot of staff really just helped out on setup and cleanup. So it was a great turnout. We had about 40 employees and overall about 130 people that attended the event. A lot of smiles, some cornhole played, some games, and most of all, we got to show off what we do to our friends and family. And I think there was a lot of aspiring drivers or equipment operators.
Age 5, 6.
Exactly, my nephew included. So they reported it was a great day. I can't wait to come back next year. So
Great.
we'll see about that. But overall, I thought it was a good success, and a lot of effort went into that. And I just want to thank the staff that was involved in that. I too attended the Commissioners Conference on the 23rd. I did want to say thank you to our own Commissioner Joanne McCollum, who is part of the planning committee that puts that on. As Commissioner Yamas highlighted, excellent agenda, really worthwhile topics, and I very much enjoyed the time spent there. Well spent time. Lastly, I wanted to let the board know I will be on annual leave for the week of October 14th. Brent Schlack has agreed to fill in for me for our meeting next time. And thank you for him. to do that. But I'll be back in the office on October 21st. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started on our director's reports, operations. Mr. Leip.
Good afternoon, Adam Leap, Director of Operations, and apologies for interrupting a minute ago. Yeah, we're moving pretty fast with a couple of positions, which are good things to get some new employees in. So what Matt was referring to, Travis will start in District 5 this week, and then John is in facilities. And then the one offer is for a state trunk line crew that's outstanding. So we're doing pretty good this time of the year as typical starts to prove good for the HR department, so they can usually find people that are maybe done with their big projects for the year or looking for that change in that future. And we tend to find some pretty successful candidates this time of year. So fingers crossed, we're going to keep going that direction. We need a couple more or 10. But
Before snow flies.
yeah, so preferably we'd get, another 4 or 5, but in all reality, 1 or 2 more and we'll be in a real good place. So.
And just on that note, I did forget to mention, we had 2 employees, retirees, coming back to help
Yep.
With winter maintenance. So we are able to hire on a temporary basis retirees that are willing. So that is a unique recruiting tool.
It's exceptional.
Yeah, it's a really good for both the organization and our retirees that are willing to come back and help us out for winter maintenance. So I believe there's 2 positions.
Correct. Yeah. So that's actually one of the most powerful things we've started doing. One is a retired foreman, one is a retired truck driver. The retired foreman is going to get to work with a new group leader, some new employees on a night shift or night patrol, we refer to it, on the state trunk line. So very successful employee, obviously, his time here. But it's great because you get that understanding and from a successful employee. And also temporary employees sometimes are hard to get up and get going because it's usually rush because they're not a full-time going to be here 30 years, so you usually just fast track them and off we go. So it's nice to bring somebody back in that's literally been here for 20 or 30 years and can keep the work moving. So we're very lucky for that. And then Willie Thomas was a District 2 employee for his career, retired from there at least. He's coming back to work with District 2. Phenomenal employee, tons of fun. He'll make you laugh. That's kind of the fun part. I think that's probably why he was so successful through his career. He's just lighthearted and had a good time. But it's good because he works with so many new employees that are in our Southeast Service Center. They usually can catch on to his themes and how we've done things in the past. So I look for it to be successful. It has been the past few years, and it really means a lot that those 2 are willing to come back.
Yeah.
We've created a good bond with them, so we really appreciate it. Updates wise, now if there aren't any questions for that, we are taking advantage of some of the recent rains. As you all are aware, until last Friday, dust control was essentially evaporating. The brine was evaporating as soon as we were putting it down. So Friday afternoon, Friday evening, we had some rain and then kind of lasted through the weekend, which is fine. We needed it. So we can start taking advantage of that when we have to retreat some roads, try to get some moisture locked back into them because we need some moisture present really to get that brine to really help us out. So especially in the townships, Pittsfield, Ypsilanti, where we get a ton of traffic. We're looking to maybe spray a couple of those roads again to try to lock that stuff up before, and I mean lock the dust up before the winter season kicks in. So taking advantage of that. Sometimes Mother Nature actually helps us out with a little bit of rain. So this is probably one of the only times that I'm excited about it with rain, but we needed a little bit. We were pretty dry. With that being said, that does lead to the winter. So yesterday, two crews started prepping for the dry run. So doing their dry run preparations. So it is on us. It is finding its way. So the plow that we discussed in the working session will unfortunately probably find its way to the road at some point this year, but no assigned route. This is where the children, those of us that were here, we all kind of, put our little touch on that plow. And so we have it out the salt shed area now just so people can see it. And then if we do get to run it, we'll be able to kind of plow down the road with it.
Commissioner McCollum.
I just want to say, Adam, I'm glad to give a hand.
Oh, we hit a ball. We hit a ball. My son decided to use two hands, so he kind of cheated. And so I'm like, well, I guess one of the lapes have two hands in it. So
So it'll be out front.
yeah, we're going to move the existing grader that's out there. So it's a little easier for the facilities group to to trim and everything, mow the yard and look a
And then
little
they'll take
better.
a picture of
We'll
it.
probably put the plow, usually put them right off the edge of the road there.
Okay.
Off of the south road. We usually put 1 or 2 plows there when we get them painted, so.
Good.
Yeah, so it'd be kind of cool to put it there. It's nice to have everybody actually touch it, no offense to any of the schools that paint them, but it's cool when it's our
That
families
was
touch it.
fun.
Yeah.
I see the plows painted, they look really nice. But when you're actually doing it, it's like,
It's pretty cool.
it's really cool.
Yeah. And back to kind of what Matt said, I mean, there was probably a better part of 20, 25 people that probably helped us really get that together. It goes well beyond the names that are on the paper. We had at one point that most of District 1, heavy equipment, like 3 or 4 people from state trunk line, office personnel. I mean, we had anybody that was breathing at some point trying to help in certain different facets of getting that ready. So even the shop, they were making sure we had
Like,
ice.
Joe.
They cleaned they cleaned all the coolers for
They
us.
get a gold star somewhere,
We'll give it to them. We'll find it. We left them the pop, so they got the pop. So I think
Oh,
they're okay. They got the leftover Coca-Cola products. So it really was a good event. We had a lot of fun with it. So hope to do it again. My household's already ready for the next one, but we haven't quite got there yet.
add that to the calendar, Erin. Pick
Yeah.
a date, put it on the calendar.
Yeah. So it was a great event. But yeah, so that kind of prepping the event at the material storage building, really kind of sets everything into motion. We start down the path of winter season now. So that dry run really preps the equipment that eventually culminates in the inspections and the crew meetings. And then you start hearing that word, the golden plow, start finding its way in everybody's mouth. And so we start judging on that and see who's, most improved and best looking and best yard. And so we have a little bit of fun, as Cheryl used to always say that, we are a slight bit competitive at this organization. So the competition will be out. It started yesterday. So,
Who got the golden plow last year?
boy, I forget, District 5, I believe. Yeah.
Was it
I
5?
think 5 got total.
They have to defend their title.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good. And I tell you, we got some shiny trucks now too. So it's going to be a little more competitive, a little more cutthroat this year because we are starting with a lot of shiny stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see what the guys can polish up. So, so we're excited for that. Winter will find its way here eventually. So that's kind of kicking us off. Still doing a little bit of drainage work where we can. As you see, some of these agreements that we've been talking about the last month or so, starting to find their way into some projects, some prep work, and then a lot of planning for 2025. That kind of leads me to something Matt and I talked about, and Matt really wanted to highlight. So it was a little fitting for operations to talk about it. In planning for 2025, we actually were able, through the safety department, find a MyOSHA grant available for some matching funds for essentially safety devices. We were able to justify that. Really, Ken and Craig, so Ken Harris, Superintendent of Maintenance, Jared Power, Assistant Superintendent of Maintenance, and Craig Timmer, our Safety Coordinator, they managed to get words on paper that were justifiable and really fit. And MyOSHA granted us basically a matching, fund or matching portion of allotment for some safety devices. What we actually use that for is for essentially headsets. So on-site communication, whether it be training, safety sensitive stuff, or just large scale, something like chip seal would be the best example that we can use these pieces of equipment. We kind of lead the way through a lot of counties. A lot of counties use these communication devices, but we push, and a lot of that is from Ken Harris really starting that with us on just simple things like we did our tree crew when him and I were superintendents, using communication so you weren't fatigued by screaming at each other all day. It lowered the fatigue level. People could concentrate a little bit better and have, common conversation like this at a moderate tone when they're doing some safety sensitive projects. So they continue to evolve a little bit, and then we kind of kept pushing, and then Ken really put the throttle pedal down when we found these devices, this MyOSHA grant. So we've actually upgraded our system now. It's kind of a standalone system. You don't have to worry about a lot of linking up. All the radios are they just automatically link right up. So you don't have to worry about a lot of Bluetooth syncing. It's just a much more simplified process. We can put about 15 on it together. So you have essentially 15 people if we need to speaking together, give or take a few persons, depending on how far apart you get. We'll use that primarily, as I say, for forestry, for seal coat, for using some of the vacuum trucks, things that are just real noisy environments. But we also hope to transition that into training for equipment operators, even just forestry work into 2025. So kind of an interesting side of how we're planning for 2025. We're going to try to keep doing things and evolve the process a little bit for us at this agency. So really it was, Matt and I talking about kudos to all the group and the staff that helped us put that together, but it comes all the way back around full circle when you have a safety coordinator. You have opportunities for this because you have somebody that can spend some time to try to find this. Where Ken and Jared, the superintendents, they don't have all day on a computer that they can maybe find a grant or find some type of program or research some of the devices. They're kind of, putting out fires as they go. So it's come full circle now. And this is probably one of those things that is good for the board and good for to be on record, how important it is to have a coordinator here for just safety and training. So good opportunity to put that on the record. So I just wanted to come in front of you guys today and inform you of that.
Sounds like an Impress Award submission to me.
Yeah, we've found our way into some nuts and bolts conversations. Ken, Jared, myself, Jason Klaus, heavy equipment foreman. We presented to the Superintendent Association of Michigan 2 years ago on this. And we just continually keep pushing, and we share a lot of the information. Lenawee County uses what we talk about. Jackson, I think, is starting to use some of it too. So we're all kind of going at it together, but we've been lucky with good budget and some of these grant programs like this that we can keep it moving forward.
Any
That is my
questions for
update.
Ed?
If there aren't any questions.
All right, thank you, Adam.
All right, thank you
Adam?
guys.
Next up, we have the engineering report. Schlack.
Hello, good afternoon. Brent Schlack, Director of Engineering. Tiffany's going to get queued up here. Some of our active road projects for our HMA paving projects, we have North Territorial between Webster Church and Hellner. And actually there's a small segment that's east of Whitmore Lake, between Whitmore Lake and US 23 that will be milling and paving this week. Our Jackson Road concrete inlay project between Myrtle and Jackson Industrial. The remaining concrete is being poured actually today. That's for the crossovers and driveway gaps. So hopefully this project will then be able to move on to punch list and some restoration. And then we'll be able to hopefully get everything open back up. Next is Stony Creek Bridge, and we got kind of some drone photos for you. So the box culvert to replace that bridge came in last week, and that was installed. And this is the crane installing some of those pieces. There was actually 11 pieces that box culvert to build that whole the bridge or that box culvert. So these are just some photos that RGIS Alan Squire took with the drone. So now they're working. We'll let Tiffany go through so you can see the different segments there, and there's one they're picking off of the truck to set. That's those coming
So they
down
have
the
to
road.
rotate them?
Yeah, they have to pick them up and rotate them, and then set them on that bedding. Yep, and you can see the two different segments there. One's kind of like a triangle shape, and then the other one's the square rectangle shape. And so they'll stack those together to build that box. So that's all installed now, and now they're working on the wing walls and backfilling. And so hopefully we'll get that backfilled in preparation for the pavement coming up. Now working into the weekly roadwork schedule. So Willis Road between Carpenter and Rawsonville. This is a safety project, and they'll be installing centerline corrugation, so rumble strips along Willis Road. So that'll be a good project. It should take only a few days to actually get those all done. Stabler at Park, this is a permit project. That culvert's installed, and they're just grading for the creek. They had to reestablish the creek because they realigned that, because that went from basically 2 culvert crossings to 1. Then our local road subdivision, our local road or subdivision paving. So Ypsilanti Township, Green Farms, those are in phases 5, 6, and 7. That paving is taking place. So they finished the concrete, and that paving is taking place and hopefully wrapping up here this week. In Scioto Township, and actually we have a couple, project pages for these, and that's Meddy Drive, between Jackson Road and then the cul-de-sac. It's a cul-de-sac road. So we're, in there milling and paving for that, and Dino Drive as well. That's between Jackson Road and the cul-de-sac, along. Those are, some local roads that will be paving through township agreement. Superior Township, these will be, upcoming on our weekly roadwork schedule. Berkshire between Prospect and Sheffield. They're putting some, concrete curb and gutter, and concrete work this week, and then they'll be milling and paving next week, along with Spring Hill Drive between Tanglewood and Creekside. They'll be doing that as next week, the milling and paving. Some traffic calming, is being installed. That's in Superior Township on Overbrook Drive between Dixboro and Creekside. We'll be installing, 8-speed humps along Overbrook. That's something that made it through that whole process, and, something that through our traffic calming program that our traffic and safety section oversees. So aside from that, I would encourage those to visit our website, for any current information on projects or upcoming projects. That concludes my report. If there's any questions.
Anything for Brent?
Great.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Brent.
Thank you.
Next, finally, the finance report, Mr. Ackroyd.
The most exciting report.
Yeah, right. I think it is. Good afternoon,
Hey, we're
board.
glad you do.
Yeah, right. Dan Ackerman, Director of Finance. Let's talk Michigan Transportation Funds, which is on the last page of your packet. Give you a moment. So a little better
Page
trend
30.
for August. August of 24, it was up about 3% from August of 23. Year to date, we're about flat, which we're a little under what we budgeted, but again, no cause for alarm at this point. Commissioner Yamas, I appreciate some of the information you shared from the Commissioners Conference. That was fascinating, some of the statistics you had, so appreciate that. So obviously, we'll be talking budget fairly soon. And to remind the board, we have actual numbers through October, and then we estimate what November and December will be. So definitely looking forward to that. That'll be a big focus of mine, and obviously we have the 2024 year-end budget and then 2025 initial budget. So we'll definitely be really busy with all of that. And speaking of budgets, we're in the last, September is the last month in the budget for the state trunk line. And so we monitor that very closely. We've been working with operations. Adam and Tim Hackbarth is our foreman for state trunk line. They're doing a great job of spending all the budget funds that are there that the state has provided. So looking forward to wrapping that up for the year and then getting that set up for their next fiscal year. We're also working on third quarter reports, which is crazy that we're talking snow in third quarter and it's October. Anyway, time just flies. Lastly, I just wanted to acknowledge Chris in his presentation this morning. I had the privilege of working very closely with Chris and Josh for several years, and they continue to amaze me at their level of professionalism and the knowledge that they have and just what they've done for our agency. Chris started in 2018, and to think of where things were as far as IT back then, and now it's night and day. And, just the level of software that we have access to, the heightened level of security we have on everything. I really feel like we've upped our game tremendously, and just, real appreciative of that. And also of the board. In 2018, we mentioned we need to make some changes, and we told the board that there would be a cost to that. And the board was very supportive of that. And, I feel like we're in a really good spot as far as our IT. So again, just want to acknowledge Chris and Josh. And that's my report.
November 19th, I think, is the meeting where we have the working session on fourth quarter.
sounds right.
2025
Correct.
budget. Okay.
Yes. Mhm.
So there will be lots of advanced materials on that one.
Yes,
Warning.
there will be. Yes.
Any questions for Dan? Appreciate your leadership when IT was on your plate as well. Gains that are just hard to contemplate
Right.
during that period of time. So thanks again for you leading the way on that while you did.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dan. That concludes our reports.
All right. If there's nothing else, commissioners, I want to remind people our next board meeting is October 15th. No working session that day. Upcoming October virtual chat sessions from noon to 12:30 every Wednesday. We're ready and waiting for visitors at noon. October 2nd, Commissioner Smers. October 9th, Commissioner Fuller. October 16th, Commissioner Green. October 23rd, Commissioner Yamas, and October 30th, Commissioner McCullum. Make sure you've got those on your calendars and make arrangements if you need to swap with somebody. If there's no further business to come before the board, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Joya McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smers.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
And Commissioner Burt Fuller.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. We are adjourned.